Who knows about Grant? All right, welcome to the Monday Night Men's Forum. I am Matt, FarmHopLife, and tonight, now hiring shit hit the fans positions. Welcome, Jeremy.
What's up?
We got Jeremy, and Homestead Padre. How's it going, guys?
Good. How's it going?
Doing good. Glad we could make this happen short notice.
Yeah.
What the hell is that sound? All right, Jeremy, go ahead.
Personal event?
Whatever you want to talk about.
Nothing really.
You don't want to talk about nothing? All right, moving on.
No, let's see, personal event. So bought a shed. So that's kind of huge. We needed some extra storage space, and so I ended up buying a prefabbed 12 by 24 foot shed with a garage on it.
With a garage on it, like a garage door.
Like
you mean?
it's the garage door. Yeah, sorry, my bad. It technically is a garage, but it's 12 by 24. But I was gonna build one, and because like my garage inside is like cramped, so I was gonna build one, and I looked at it, I was like, for like $1,000 more, I can just pay.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's my time at this point is worth that. So, but I spent my afternoon and have spent several days putting in insulation, trying to keep it from being 150 degrees inside.
How'd that go?
I got the roof done with the ceiling.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that makes a difference tomorrow.
You gonna put a mini split in there?
Considering it. So
even those $150 window units actually do a really good job.
I've got one out there. I haven't hooked it up yet, but my brother-in-law, they've got he had a window unit and two of those portable freestanding AC. And he's like, you can have one of these if you want. So okay. So I'm gonna put it in there. And if nothing else, just to keep it from being 100 degrees in there, keep it at 80 degrees so that stuff doesn't melt.
Now I know where you're hiding all your junk to not be in your TikTok shots. So
yeah,
instead of junk all over your yard, you're
there's so much. In fact, what's funny is I even thought about it a couple days ago, replying to your TikTok about your yard, and I'll be like, well, here's mine.
Yep,
everywhere.
Yeah, dude. I actually went to the dump recently and got rid of a bunch of stuff. Feels so good to have more space for more junk.
That's right. You got to replenish.
That's right. So, Padre.
Well, today's my birthday.
Oh yeah, happy birthday.
41 years old on this earth, but we also purchased a building for my son, turning it into his tiny house.
Nice.
Actually purchased it about a month ago. It just got delivered last week. 12 by 20, lofted.
Nice.
So, nobody told me it was shed season. I'm missing out.
Well, it looks like you're in a shed that's got some holes in the roof.
Chicken coop. Maybe the sheep barn next year. Who knows? Go ahead, Padre.
Crazy that it's still light out there.
Yeah, I was looking at that too. I'm getting a new goat tomorrow.
New goat.
Free. Yeah.
Free?
Yeah.
More soap?
Actually don't have any bucks. All I have is does out in my pasture right now. So hoping for a kidding season next spring.
Nice. Do you how'd you end up with a free goat? Just someone Facebook, Craigslist trying to get rid of it?
Person that we know, she rescues animals, and one of her does had unexpected babies. Actually had triplets. 2 bucks and a doe, or I'm sorry, 2 does and a buck. And I was like, and I just messaged her kind of half joking. I was like, hey, if you need somewhere to get rid of that buck, just let me know. And she private messaged me afterwards. She's like, keeping this one, but I got an older one, still a baby. He's like 8 months old. She's like, but he needs a home. I was like, well, I got 2 does that need a man. So
that need a man.
Need a man.
She goes, well, I know you won't eat him, so you can have him. And that's her thing. She won't let anybody have one if she thinks you're going to eat it.
That's funny. So you celebrated your birthday by eating a goat.
What'd you say?
I said, so you're going to celebrate your birthday by eating a goat?
No, not eating the goat.
Ah, shoot. All right.
I need babies.
Maybe next year.
I need babies next year.
Eat the babies next year.
That's
Maybe
right.
at 43.
They're much more tender.
Much more tender. Got to break their legs when they're young. Oh,
Yeah.
That's terrible. Nice. Cool. So your son's not living in the shed yet, right? He's got like his work to be done.
Yes. He got he's a plumber. And he told his boss about the shed and everything, and they all got really excited. And his boss, they're amazing people, like greatest people you ever meet. So he pulled my son aside yesterday, and he's like, "We're donating the shower and the toilet and all the PEX plumbing, and they're going to put a mini septic tank in the ground, a little 55-gallon septic tank in the ground, and they're going to do it all for free. He's going to provide the labor." So I looked at my son and I was like, well, we just cut $2,000 out of that build.
Yeah, no kidding.
And so we're working now this week. We're going to go buy all the electrical he needs. I sat yesterday for like 8 hours and just mapped out what all we were putting in there, where to put all the boxes and run the wires. And
whose mobile home you ripping all the copper out of?
But there's one up the road. No one would probably notice.
Just try it.
But so yeah, hopefully we'll be running electrical in the next couple of weeks, and whenever his boss comes out with the plumbing, then we're going to insulate it. So we're going to get the plumbing and electrical run first.
Nice. Yeah, Jeremy, did you do that first?
Well, I'm not running plumbing out there.
Do any electrical?
I will. I've got, I ran the electrical for my lights, but I've got to run the electrical through the wall, and I'll insulate the walls. I went ahead and insulated the ceiling because I'm not running anything else in the ceiling. Trying to keep the heat, trying to at least insulate what's facing the sun the most.
What about shop light?
I've got 4 of them in there.
Oh, well, there you go. I'll just shut up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because I bought these. They're like 32-watt LED shop lights, 48-inch shop lights, and I bought 4 of them like, I don't know, 6 years ago.
Yeah.
For like $3 a piece at Lowe's. And I'm like,
dang,
I'm gonna use those one day. And I stuck them in the garage behind something, and I'm like, today's my day.
You were just thinking about putting them on your truck if they sat any longer. It's like, I'm just gonna.
I thought about it. Yeah.
Put it on my hood. Put it on the roof.
Inside interior light back there. Yeah. So
face it backwards to flip on when some guy's tailgating you.
Well, I've got LED headlights on my truck, and I get people flash their lights to me all the time. And I'm like, my brights aren't all, dude.
Yeah.
So I just put that back on.
I used to get that
too. Front just to flash them back.
Good. I don't really have a personal event. Just kind of not doing much. Poking around the yard here and there because I thought it'd be funny. And it's nice outside. I still have light out, so I'm gonna be out here.
What? How hot is it there? Or cold?
I don't know. 80.
He's not sweating, so
I know. Yeah.
The sun is the enemy down here right now.
Golly, so here's 98 degrees earlier.
So here's something crazy. So you guys mentioned like it's light here, right? And obviously it's not where you are. So my parents came to visit. I'm in Western Montana, and on their way back,
I'm outside right now.
My parents stayed over in Eastern Montana, and I was like on their way back home. So I video chatted. I'm like, hey, I just want to see how dark it is where you're at. Like the sun's just about to set, and they go outside and it's like dark blue, almost black. And there's like, it's still plenty of sunshine where I was at in Western Montana. It was crazy. It's pretty funny.
But I mean, like Eastern Montana to Western Montana is like the east side of Alabama versus the west side of Mississippi. Like it's.
I guess.
There's a lot of distance there.
Yeah, I don't know how many miles it is, but it takes you 10 to 12 hours depending. to get from end to end. But anyways,
I just like
okay.
how the sun's shining on your face and you're
Yeah,
not
I have to keep
covered in
moving.
sweat. No, I'm jealous.
Oh, yeah.
They threw a surprise party for me yesterday and they set it up in my son's building so I wouldn't catch on to it. And
That's
oh, it was so miserably hot in there. But the kids did it, so I endured. I was soaked in sweat by the end of it. But I say all that to say this: my son was like, "Mom needs you out at my building." I was like, "Why?" She just said she needs you. I was like, "That means I have to walk into the sunlight to get to the building." Like I fought walking into the sunlight at like 1:00 in the afternoon.
no bueno.
Like in like Chronicles of Riddick, like if the sun touches you, you're dead. Something.
Yeah,
It about feels like it. Like it legit will take your breath away down here with the humidity and the heat.
That's why I'm here, dude. That's why I'm here. I'm a
midday. Midday, if you're outside, you're under a tree. I mean, you got to stay in the shade.
Or you have a solar powered hat fan.
That's true too. For people, but what do the rest of us with hair do?
It shouldn't suck up your hair.
Nice. Shouldn't. All right. So this topic, now hiring shit hit the fan positions. So I was listening to this podcast a couple weeks ago, and someone asked like the host, like, so when the shit hits the fan, what kind of jobs are going to be available or whatever? They're like, what's a good job to have in a shit hit the fan? And they're like, well, what are you doing right now? Is it like, what do you do for work now? Is it of value? Like, is there a need for that in the I was going to say the afterlife, world, but the apocalypse. Now, I find it kind of funny, and people can figure out who I'm talking about here, but I'm not going to name names. One is a coffee roaster that could be useful. One is he sews. He makes products with the sewing machine that could be useful. And the third one is a professional podcaster. So it's like, you're going to podcast in the apocalypse? Now, that brings me to my point of that's stupid. That's just like all these skills that you gain along the way. Like, do you do them professionally? Because that's going to help you, may or may not help you when the shit hits the fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Podcasting is not going to help you when the shit hits the fan. There's parts about it that might, like doing things, gaining skills, creating a network,
learning,
knowing how to learn. But I mean, I just thought it was kind of funny, like kind of like my shit don't stink kind of thing, kind of answer.
So you're saying that a podcast is a useless trade?
Yes.
On a podcast?
Yes.
Okay, guys, making sure that we were clear on that. Okay, good.
Yep. I mean, underwriting insurance, is that going to be pretty useful?
Nope, not a bit. Not one bit.
Padres like set up the best for the apocalypse.
I was about to say, I mean, I'm a farmer.
He'll be all right.
Be all right.
He'll be all right. I think because I've wondered that before. Like, what skills do I have that would be beneficial in the post-apocalyptic world? And I've always been a jack of all trades. Like I'm pretty good at a lot of things. I'm not like amazing at any one thing, but I know how to figure stuff out. And so when you asked that question, my first thought was like, well, I'll just protect me and my family. Like, we'll move out to the middle of nowhere. We'll hunker down where we're at. But then you got people around you. And they're like, well, what happens when you get sick? What happens when you can't provide for your family? And at my old company, they called me, well, I say they, one person called me the mayor. Because everything ran through my department and me. And like, I had my hands in so many things. And so I'd like to think that I would probably, while I can do all of these things, would be somebody that's trying to bring people together, to build community so that we can all get along and sustain each other.
Do you fancy yourself a good leader?
I don't know that I would go that far. I think it's hard to judge yourself that way.
That's
But
true.
I do like to learn a lot. I do like to try new things. I like to interact with people on a limited basis. But
Right.
you know, I mean, of course, you know, the gardening, growing food, chickens. You know, I got eggs.
Yeah.
But as far as like my skill, like what I do now is I run an insurance underwriting department.
Right.
That's going to be useless if it hits the fan.
On its face, sure. I guess a lot of things, it's like, do skills transfer, right?
Yeah.
So like if you're in the business,
managing risk,
but you know what, that could transfer if you were able to quantify certain things, and you're like, you know what, that's too risky, here's plan B, whatever it could be, right? But I mean, so like if your whole business is to just get clicks on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram or whatever, and you're just doing, you know, basic dumb shit to try to get, you know, whatever the creators program thingy, whatever, you're not going to be very useful. Yeah, you're not going to be very useful whatsoever, and you're gonna have to beg, probably gonna starve.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jeremy, I can think of 3 things from what you do that would be useful post-apocalyptic. So, you know,
all right,
risk management,
yeah,
multitasking, and organizational skills.
Oh, I got a 4th one: scamming people and ripping them off. Insurance is a scam, dude.
I see where you're going with that. I didn't make the rules though.
That's true.
Do we really want to go down that road though? You could claim it is, but to the people that use it, it's not.
I was just reading about the PD tribe earlier in North Carolina, like 1100 to 1400s when they existed. Mound builders, Mississippi mound builder culture. I made it all the way to North Carolina, but anyway, it was a walled tribe, but one of their key factors was trading with other tribes. And while I was reading that, I was thinking about your topic, Matt, and you know, I don't think anybody denies that the lone wolf will not survive in the long run. So, you know, it has to be community based. Even 6,000 years ago, people got together in tribes and traded with other tribes and things like that. So that's where Jeremy would come into play with multitasking and organizational skills and risk management.
One more.
Security.
Amber Lake Farmstead says, an overlooked important part of prepping is building community with neighbors. Yeah. Absolutely.
I agree with that.
Ain't gonna make it. You can't do it all by yourself.
Well, and you know, talking about building tribes, you know, the thing that always runs through my mind is the people that survive in all these movies. Now, of course, we haven't seen a real true post-apocalyptic world in our lifetimes, but in all of these movies and all the scenarios and the fictional, you know, books and series, the people that survive the apocalypse aren't the people you want to be around typically. So what does that say about you if you survive?
The warlords,
psychopaths, the scammers. Oh, welcome, Scott, by the way. Another
hey, Scott.
Scammer. Got it.
Another scammer.
Wait, is Scott
nice segue there? Nice segue there, Matt.
I don't know what he does. You guys talked about medical. You guys are both in the medical field of something, and that's all I know about Scott. And he's not confirming nor denying. So
Yeah.
we'll just let that
Confirm
sit.
it.
Well, medical is definitely going to come in handy.
That's right.
If you know how
Well,
to do it. Not the
Yeah.
the paperwork for it.
Not the paperwork or insurance.
Yeah.
So the funny thing is like I have, and I bet we're all kind of like this. I have in my head, I've got a short list of if it hits the fan, I've got this person, this one, this one, this one, and this one. And they don't know it. Some of them do, some of them don't know it. But like y'all, we need to kind of get together. Like that's, and one of them is his wife is a doctor, and he's kind of a jack of all trades. And he and I are on the same page, and he knows it, but his wife doesn't know that she's coming along for the ride if it hits the fan. But it's like, you kind of have, we've had conversations with people like I've lined up my short list of people that are close by that if it happens, then yeah, we're gonna round up and try to build community.
Yeah, I definitely have a list.
So
See, we're fortunate already. I have the farming and the foraging and the natural medicine. My wife was in nursing before she went into education. Now she's an educator. She's done geriatric care. She now works with special needs. So she has skills ranging all over the board. We have another friend who is a nurse for 20 years. He's on the short list. He's also a security nut. So he'll bring a lot of, now he does IT work. So he'll bring a lot of security work, a lot of guns and medical knowledge. So yeah, definitely if you don't have a list, you need a list.
yeah. Well, even IT though, I mean, that could still translate. I mean, if it hits the fan, depending on what the scenario is, right?
Right. And that's the thing. We never know. We never know. Everything that we ever try to like, oh, if it goes down and and then this is what I'm gonna do. Like, just throw that plan in the garbage because it's never what you think it is.
It won't. No adaptability.
Well, and that's a problem. So Padre and I, he's actually on my podcast this coming week, and we were talking about 2020. Why did the preppers freak out? I mean, I was prepped up. What's the problem here? And I still went down to the store because I thought it's never enough. You never feel comfortable enough when you're a prepper. You're not secure enough in your own mind, right? I had everything. I was no reason to go down to the store. Part of it was also I wanted to watch the world burn, but so but it's that mental thing. Everybody's preparing for shit hits the fan, and nobody's preparing for the gray area, the part where you're going to be. I put a post on Twitter the other day and then I deleted it where you're in the occupation, so and it's not a complete collapse, but it ain't very good, right? So
it's a downward slide.
Yeah, I mean, we should have learned that from 2020. And I still remember that the weekend when we were going into the lockdowns, right? We went home on Friday the 13th, and that Saturday we went to the gun store, and there was a guy there that said, "Hey, I work for the city water, and we're getting locked down tonight, and we're not leaving the building for 2 weeks, and we're going into 2-week shifts where we're sleeping on cots. We're exercising the emergency management plan." And we're like, what? You got to be kidding. So then I said something about it on a local board that, hey, this guy said that, he's getting locked down for 2 weeks. And everybody said misinformation. This was even before misinformation became the term, right? And they ran me out of the group. And then one of the other guys said, "Yeah, I work for the county, and he's right."
Huh.
And so and stuff, and it was just and they're telling you they're going to do exactly the same thing again. So it's like, okay,
It's like in football, they just rerun the same play.
right? So, everybody talks really big, and then and then most of the people I know went and got went and gave in because they had to make their truck payment. So,
Yep. Yep. I think
make my
the same
truck
thing's
payment.
going to happen. They're gonna
Right.
Everyone's going to get steamrolled again.
Mm-hmm.
So Scott,
and we need to be thinking about that again.
Similar
Everybody
to
prepares.
Jeremy, you said
Go ahead.
you're in like a project managerial role, I think. I think
Yep.
that's what you said. So it sounds kind of similar to Jeremy. So what kind of skills do you think in your current job would transfer in the apocalypse?
Well, I think that's one thing. It's people freaking out, and just I spent a lot of time doing the major incidents, right? So we went live with something, and it was didn't go quite as planned. So then we're somebody's helping the team stay organized as we work through the issues, and everything's going wrong, right? In addition to that, I was an X-ray tech in the medical field. I was a ultrasound person before I became in IT. And, one of the reasons I got out of the Air Force was we had to go play MASH unit. And we were playing MASH unit, and they said, okay, so you need to start carrying these stretchers, right? The litters. And they said, because if there's a war, so this is like 1980s still, right? And this is before 9/11. And they said, if there's a war, you're not going to be an X-ray tech. You're going to be Klinger and radar carrying stretchers, carrying people on stretchers, on litters. And I said, okay, I'm not re-enlisting.
That's almost as bad as those guys that had to run like trench rats or whatever they called them, but like had to run the wire to set explosives or radio wire or whatever. Like basically just get picked off by snipers. Oh gosh.
Yeah, or digging latrines or something. But they said you're not going to be doing what you're trained for. You're going to be doing that.
Sure.
And it was like
I'll dig a latrine instead of go to the front line. That sounds good to me. Normally, latrines are way, way, way back. That sounds nice.
So in the Army, it was pushed very heavily that we were a soldier first. It doesn't matter what our job is. Mm-hmm. They will not hesitate to put a rifle in our hands and send us out. I was fire support specialist. I was a radio man called in artillery strikes, missile strikes. So it was a combat role anyway. But I was told we might not always need that. We might just need bodies with rifles. So that would be that's always the default.
So I think there's a lesson right there that you better make whatever you want to do your profession, or your profession will be chosen for you.
Right.
In Padre's case, he wants to be a farmer, so he's a farmer.
Yeah, our local group got infiltrated by the militia. Somebody invited them, and they were clearly fads. And so the one guy was saying, yeah, I'm looking for somebody to back up me at my compound. And so Purpin and I were like, yeah, you're looking for somebody to be the
Patsy in the next Patsy in the next Michigan governor thing, whatever, kidnapping case. Yeah, nice try.
No, it'll be the meatball, whatever, the meat grinder. So we're like, yeah, I don't think so. What about my compound? He wasn't.
One thing that makes me sad.
It
makes me sad that the feds blacklisted the term electric boogaloo. That was such a great meme back like only 2019, 2020. That was such an awesome meme. Was electric boogaloo. Like, oh, you guys getting ready for the boogaloo? Like Civil War Part 2.
Yeah.
But one thing I like about my state is you're talking about militias and the feds will get in and infiltrate. We still have a state military. We have a War Department. And if you want to go that route, you can volunteer in the Mississippi State Army. and then you avoid that whole militia fed thing altogether because your commander in chief is the governor of the state.
Well, the only problem is you got to watch out because in 9/11 they sent the National Guard over to Iraq, and the reserves and not the active duty guys, right? So that
sounds different.
The people that got chewed up at the beginning were the National Guard people they sent over there. It's like
we have a National Guard too, but we have a state army. The feds have no power over. The feds have no power over the Mississippi State Guard.
Is Mississippi the only state with that?
Texas does too, there are several states that have them. Several states that used to have them, and there's a couple states that's talking about bringing them back.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing about the militia guys infiltrating our local group was they got pissed and they said, "You guys are just freedom farmers. You're not freedom fighters."
Because you guys wouldn't give them an inch. Yeah, that's nice.
No, because we were talking about farming and this stuff that Perpin used to talk about in the beginning of the show, right?
Right.
So,
right.
What does community mean to you and all this other stuff? And they were going what? And so yeah, that was my favorite line is you guys are freedom farmers, not freedom fighters.
Something you said reminded me, Matt. If you don't pick your profession, that it'll be chosen for you.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm sure all of y'all or many of you have read in the book or listened to it. I think I listened to it. The book 1 Second After. I think it was in that book, but the scene was basically all these people like EMP, everything like lights out, and these people walking along the highway and trying to come through this little bitty community. And like they're the people that have set up shop in this community, set up a local government, if you will, or like, what's your profession? And if you're valuable or not, that determines whether you keep on hiking or you get to come in and be part of the community. So,
yep.
So yeah, to your point, I mean, if I'm walking through, if something happens and I'm driving back from Atlanta, Georgia, and it hits the fan and I'm walking through, down I-20, and I'm walking through a community, they're gonna say, "What's your profession?" Insurance underwriting. Keep on going. Yep. I mean, it's
yep.
So yeah, I mean, that's a valid point. If you want to have a say in what you do in that kind of scenario, probably need to choose that profession now.
Have you guys seen these posts about like these billionaires hiring ex-military guys for their security and their compounds for the apocalypse and whatever? And all this talk is like, so what's going to happen? Like, it's really not going to be the billionaires compound. It's going to be the security guys. Like
Right.
It's going to be their compound, right? Like the billionaire has nothing. He's got the money now, but again, like we can play, what if all day, but
if it hits the fan,
if the money's no good, then what are they giving him?
Right.
Maybe food. Maybe they will offer like food, shelter, something like maybe there's like a complete package, but for the most part, what do they need that billionaire for at that point? Nothing.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah,
absolutely nothing.
Security people take it at that point.
Oh, what those security guys have is they have somebody to dig the latrines. The billionaire.
Matt, are you in the chicken shed? Is that where you're at?
Yep.
In the background there?
Yes, I am.
Scott, you guessed better than Jeremy and I did.
Yeah,
I was going to say woodshed or the chicken shed.
Need a lot of work.
Nope.
Need a lot of work.
It actually stays relatively dry in here, believe it or not, given all the holes in the roof. It's pretty dry.
Wow.
And the wide open sides. So I don't know. Stays dry.
How did you protect them from predators with all those
2 layers of fencing?
How did you protect them from winter?
Right.
I don't get bitch birds. There's chicken wire and there's welded wire, so we've never had a predator issue.
Even through the roof.
Wow.
There's some spots where, like, I got chicken wire right here in this gap in the roof.
Okay.
It's a good shed. I'd live out here if I had to.
You're right.
Wow.
I did actually had to throw a tarp over it last year because it got like cold. We had like a really cold, really fast, and so the birds like couldn't like acclimate, and they took a beating. So I did have some bitch birds. That is true.
Before you get rid of all of them.
That's right. I ran them through hell first, and then got rid of them. Like,
how did you process them or sell them?
I gave them away. Yep. Yeah, we're actually going through some of our old layers that I put in the freezer. Never doing that again unless I'm like just turning them into dog food, because those birds are so like there's not much meat, and they got like 2 or 3 year old birds. They get like these coarse hairs on them that you just can't like. It's really hard to pluck, and it's really hard to burn them off without scorching the skin. And so like I don't even really want to eat the skin. I just like I cooked one on the pellet grill the other day, and basically just like pulled the skin off and threw it in the compost pile.
I'm gonna be honest. If my wife didn't want them, I probably wouldn't even have chickens.
Yeah, I feel the same way. They're fine. I like all my compost. Hey, Jeremy, by the way, I'm barely through that pile of compost. I barely made a dent in that thing. The pallet's holding it together. Like I reinforced it, and it's still like it's just keeps settling, and the sides are just like breaking apart. And I'm having mushrooms growing out of it.
I've had a couple of mushrooms grow out of it. Don't know what kind they are, and I'm not ballsy enough to try them.
That's fine. I also got this stuff in here that looks like wild carrot. I don't know what happened to my mushrooms. Mushrooms died.
Looks like a beautiful evening. What's the temp there, Matt?
Right now, probably 70.
Not sweating.
75.
Goodness.
Yeah, it's nice.
Did you have snow and frost last week like Missoula did?
Almost. We almost did. There was threats. The weatherman was threatening of 3 to 5 inches of snow last weekend.
Golly.
I mean, that's part of it, right? So like our last frost date is June 3rd, but
wow,
add a week, and got that buffer for freak weather events. And yeah, it got down to like 35, 38 degrees at night last weekend.
I'll take the heat over a short growing season.
Yeah, that's what I was sitting there thinking.
You learn to work with it, or you starve.
Our frost season's my frost season's like November 21st to March 14th.
I thought you were going to say November 21st to November 22nd.
No, that's my grow season.
366 days.
Yes.
Yeah, mine's like late October to early April.
Yep.
Yeah, because I grew carrots all winter long last year, and they were some of the best carrots I've ever eaten. Nice and sweet.
So Matt, what's your skill? I don't think you ever answered.
So my day job is field engineer. So I basically just like make stuff work. And I mean, it's like similar to you guys, just problem solving stuff, but it's not so much like from like a management position. It's just like, we have this, we want this, make it. And so just got to figure that out pretty much every day.
Yeah, I could see that.
Which I do that at home anyways. Like, I have this and I want this. Just do that. So,
See,
or I
down
want
here
this,
we call
but I have that.
down here we call that redneck engineering.
Yep, that's what I do, and I bring it to a $50 million company.
Hmm.
They don't like it very much, but I'm like, well, give me a bigger budget, and I'll make it look nice.
Oh, you bring the redneck engineering to
Absolutely. Every multi-million-dollar company needs a redneck. I think they'd learn a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's the guy that turns old piping into cannons. So
Yeah.
see, a lot of what I don't know, what we we kind of got off track there, but that's all right. What I don't know yet, I try to acquire books to I should familiarize myself with what content is in the books before I actually need it.
All about I've got.
But I got you got a nice bookshelf. I need to build myself a bookshelf because I keep acquiring more and more books, and it just ends up in random places. And I think I have a book on that, and then I end up buying it a second time. But I just bought a foraging book, so we'll see. Not foraging, foraging. We'll see.
forging is a good skill too.
I mean, that is true.
Yeah.
Just get metal hot and smash it with a hammer. It seems like.
You got to learn you got to learn what colors, what temperature, and what the metal will do. But
yeah, that's true. Like metallurgy and all that stuff. I'm oversimplifying it, but
cool.
foraging. I just talked to Scott about this on his podcast. It's everybody needs that skill. Everybody needs to work on that skill. There's no reason you should go for a walk this time of year and not come back full.
Yeah.
There's food everywhere, and it's a lost skill, and it's one we all need, especially if you start talking about post-apocalyptic scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I've got a book that's a foraging book back there on the shelf. That's and I can't remember the name of it, but it's basically it's written by a chef in Birmingham, which is the metropolitan city near where I live. And he wrote it. It's about foraging in our area, and I'm like, how much more localized?
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, that's awesome.
Great.
Yeah. Now, have I read all of it? Nope.
Yeah, I wish I could
Yeah, one
find.
of the problems with those. Go ahead.
I wish I could find one like that from our area. So I have
one of the problems with foraging books is that most of the pictures are like diagrams, and they're hard to actually turn into real life in front of you.
Right.
But I've been walking around and using Plant This, app to figure stuff out, and then repeating it until I remember what they are. Till I can.
I was just gonna say I can never remember what it is. I scanned some stuff yesterday, and it's like you scanned this 2 years ago. I'm like, I don't know.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, you got to do like
Yeah,
Scott said. You got to keep going back to
around. Yep, and then go around and test yourself, and then say, okay, so I think this is henbit. Well, henbit and what do they call it? False nettle or something are close. And I'm not sure whether you could eat both of them. And then nettle and vervain look the same. So it's like, am I gonna walk through this and get all itchy or not? Stuff like that.
Yeah, I remember one I saw on TikTok. It was like, just remember the queen has hairy legs, and then I don't remember. I remember the queen has hairy legs, but I don't remember what plant they were talking about.
What it means.
Queen that's Queen
funny.
Anne's lace, because Queen Anne's lace looks so similar to elderberry. One's great for you, the other one's going to kill you. But it's
taste.
I think Matt saw it my TikTok with the purslane. I come across it you pick farm.
Yep.
So I came across it walking. We were doing the picking, and I was walking to look down. I was like, that looks like purslane, and I pulled out my app and double checked myself before I ever made the TikTok video. So that's the way you do it when you start. I'm pretty new to learning purslane, so kind of like Scott said, I've looked at it several times, and then I've caught myself in a situation in the quote wild, and I was like, oh, I think that's what it is. And then you test your knowledge that way, just to gain that confidence in identifying it.
What would Grant Payne do? That's
Well,
he would go buy
ain't here.
300 of it.
He'd get the guy to pay him to.
Yeah, that's right.
Or he would go buy
Yeah.
300. He'd go buy 300, split them in half, repot them, sell them for 1,000.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Now, you were saying that the purslane has really high omega-3s.
Yeah, it's high in magnesium, potassium, vitamin C, vitamin B12, and omega-3. It's
Wow.
in the plant kingdom. It's one of the richest sources of omega-3 fatty acids, and it tastes really good. Like it looks like a succulent. Like it was hard to tell in my video, and when you bite into it, it just like juice fills your mouth from the leaf. So it's actually a pretty unique plant. But it's for somebody who doesn't really like green stuff, me. It tastes really good.
I've been mixing that stuff in with my salads.
All right, so Padre, what was this again?
Common purslane is what I found in the field the other day. And
I don't even know what it is.
what's so funny is the only reason I knew about it is I seen it on Baker Creek's website back in the spring, and I was like that, and I researched the plant, and I was like, oh, I want to grow this. So I ordered seeds. I actually have the seed packet in there, and I've looked at that seed packet I don't know how many times. So that's how I learned to identify that plant, was looking at the picture on the front of that seed packet.
That's funny. So, what do you guys want to wrap up on? I kind of said all I gotta say.
Yeah, this could have been like a 15-minute episode, really.
Well, sorry about that.
I'm kidding. I've enjoyed
Jeremy's
it.
like, this could have been an email.
This could have
it
been
could have
an email.
All right. Here, we'll do this. I'll give you a little property tour. Let's start with.
Yeah.
Oh wait, my camera sucks, so you can't even see the mountains. Hold on, I gotta wait through all. This is my chicken run now. It's completely overgrown.
Wow.
You guys know those industrial shelves that you can get at Costco, Home Depot, and all that stuff? We've been reshelving them, and then I take the shelves and I'm making arches for the new garden area here.
Right.
Also, I built these gates with the hardware and everything. Maybe like $40 in materials versus like the $200 they want at Tractor Supply.
Just making it work.
Wow.
Redneck engineering.
That's awesome.
That's right. Threw down some cardboard and some old moldy hay to suppress the weeds. I got a lot left to go.
So what's y'all's opinion on the cardboard to suppress weeds? Because I've heard there's a lot of, I don't want to say controversy, but differences of opinions. Nice chemtrail in the background. Oh, never mind. That's just your wire. I thought that was a chemtrail.
I've used it. It didn't really work that great for me. I'd rather just throw a tarp down.
Yeah,
Probably because it just disintegrated like instantly. You guys still get me?
Barely.
Yeah.
But so I've heard people talk about the chemicals that go into making cardboard boxes, and the forever chemicals or forever whatever it is, and putting it in your soil, blah blah blah, all that stuff. Didn't know what y'all's opinion was.
I use it a lot.
Look, I'm going to do like Matt. Here's my garden right here. This is my garden area. That's my greenhouse.
No.
A little bit of light you see right there. There's my sheep. Using my sheep right there behind me. I don't know if y'all can see them or not.
Man, I was going to show you guys this plant that's supposedly toxic to horses, like, and people, and I don't see it anymore. It's all gone.
Did you eat it?
I must have ate it all.
How many acres you got? What, two? Is it 2 or 3?
2, just over 2. So like, I took out all this fencing. Well, I left it around the trees because I want them. But I took out the fencing in between. I had all these hoops. I'm trying to tip it without knocking over my camera here. And I piled all that sage around these plants to keep it more shaded. Less evaporation. So like it stays more wet. But then also like the deer can't get it. Like mostly they can't jump over it. And it provides like another habitat for other animals. And these things are working because do you guys see that rabbit that I saved the other day?
Yeah, you're gonna eat it later.
Yeah, I accidentally stepped on it, and then I just let it be, and I came out the next day, and it was just soaked, just like it was like breathing funny and everything. So I brought it inside, dried it off, let it hang out for an hour. Then I kicked it back out. Well, I've seen that thing running around, and like we've never had rabbits here before, and so like it's cool to see like this increased diversity on the property. Like it's like nature's letting you know like you're doing things right.
I say I could send you some. I have plenty running around the property and the garden. I have a deer getting into my garden right now. Never had to deal with this before in all the years I've been here.
Really?
What's it eating?
Tomatoes.
Really?
I've heard that typically when deer find their way into your garden, they're just thirsty. Yeah, they're looking for, like when they start eating like your watermelons or your tomatoes or your cucumbers, their zucchinis, like these are all full of water, and they're looking for water. I don't know how true that is. I read it somewhere on the internet, so it must be true.
Yeah, it must be. Well, all I know is he's eating my garden, and Mississippi now classifies him as a nuisance animal. So my freezer is a perfect fit for him.
We've got these magpies around here, and I hate those things so much. They get into everything. I had to like add more and more to my compost bins to keep the magpies out, and they're still getting in there. And so like I bought a slingshot, and I'm trying to get good at scaring away the magpies. I haven't hit one yet, but I'm trying.
Your compost is going to be full of little metal BBs.
I'm just using gravel from the driveway.
Speaking of compost, didn't you at one point compost a chicken, Matt?
Did I compost a chicken? I composted a deer leg.
Maybe that's what it was.
Like the forearm of a deer. It stunk. It's one night when I pulled back the dirt, like it stunk so bad. I was like, "Oh, just cover that back up." And then the next year, it was all the tissue was gone.
Did you put a black tarp or anything over the dirt to heat it up? Because you gotta reach a certain thermal level in the compost to start breaking down things like that.
That is true. I don't have a compost probe. I just never bought one. Just like, yep, that's warm.
I was scrolling Instagram or TikTok. I think it would have had to have been Instagram because TikTok wouldn't allow this. But I'm like scrolling through, and this guy's like, "This chicken's dead," and he just throws it into a compost, covers it up. I'm like, "Well, that was abrupt." Like, it's like
just
wasn't
quick
quite
and to the point.
I wasn't ready for that. Like, you could have like warmed me up to that idea a little bit. But he just threw it in. He basically put his dead chicken in the compost, covered it up, and like
Joel
lit it.
Salatin did a whole cow one time.
I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, it's fine if you can. I think it's like 150 degrees you have to get the right thermophiles in there to break it down. And it actually won't stink if you can get the temperature up high enough for the thermophiles to move in.
It's hard to get it that hot.
It is. Well, for me and you, it would be a lot easier.
That is true. At least in the summer.
Does it have to be black plastic?
Well, it doesn't have to be, but it'll heat
clear? Like a greenhouse.
Black will heat up faster.
Interesting. Okay.
What the hell? Sorry, hold on.
Now we gotta wait and see what this is about.
I had my compost. I use I'll compost the chicken manure and the bedding, mix it with leaves and grass clippings and food scraps, and like during the winter I've had it up to 140 degrees down here, so it shouldn't be too hard to get it to 150 in the summer.
I think something just got one of my chickens.
Oh gosh.
So my son's out there now with a spotlight and
Here's another reason.
It's in the run.
Here's another reason why I live in the north. How eaten alive would you guys be sitting outside right now?
Tonight it's actually not bad, but normally it's
I'm fine right now. I haven't been bit at all, and I've been outside this whole time.
So like oddly enough,
8 degrees outside.
Oddly enough, today was like 96, 98 degrees somewhere in there, but like once the sun started going down, it was actually really pleasant. And so we sat outside on the back porch and ate dinner, and I didn't get eaten up once. That's rare. Usually it's
well, they just sprayed yesterday, so mosquitoes are down right now where I'm at.
How do you feel about that, Padre? Good or bad?
I hate it.
I do too.
It knocks down my bee population every time they do. I've lost whole hives after they've sprayed. Because what they do is a pickup truck drives down the road with a big fog machine on the side, on the back of it, and it just sprays
Same here.
pesticide into the air. And, it's for mosquito control, but it affects everything.
Sure.
When we hear them coming, like I make my kids go inside, I'm like, we don't need to be outside breathing any of this.
Sure. I suppose those no spray signs don't work.
No. County doesn't care.
What about?
And honestly, the majority of the people do what?
I said, what about cow traps? Like those pieces of metal bend a certain way so that they're always like pointed up and will pop a tire.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd probably be tarred and feathered by the community around me. The majority of people
they love their pesticide.
The majority of the people don't care about my bees. All they care about is the mosquito population.
I mean, until like you just need to be more annoying than mosquitoes, and they'll be like, fine, whatever.
Yeah.
Yep.
Put up some loudspeakers.
Put up a bunch of bat houses around the county.
That'd be better. That'd be so much better. I have them here on my property.
We have
I built one.
I'm gonna have to call it a night.
All right. Thanks for hey, let's just wrap up real quick. You got a minute, Scott?
Sure, yeah.
All right. You go first. Scott Miller.
Okay. Scott Miller, Thriving the Future, thrivingthefuture.com. Check it out on your fave podcast app. And then also grownutTrees.com.
I think
order now and we're shipping
edgy
in September.
branding. Let's do an edgy branding sesh. Grow these nuts. Trees.com.
I was gonna say it, dude. I swear to you, I was gonna say grow these nuts. I swear I was.
That's funny.
now available on flippa.com.
Yeah, grow these nuts. That's good. Yeah. Order now for September. I'll ship them out in September.
Get your own nuts. Grow your own nuts. Awesome. Thank you, Scott. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it.
You bet. Thanks for inviting me.
Jeremy.
Dewey Like Donuts, Twitter,
Yeah, the thing.
Instagram,
You know, the thing.
TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. I'm more active on Twitter or X or whatever we're calling it these days.
A lot of people call it shitter.
Well, I've got my follower count up a little bit. I even got the nice little blue thing now.
I just got my little blue thing.
You guys and your little blue things.
Yeah, I want to see if it'll make a difference in engagement. Follow.
It has on mine. I'm up 500%.
Nice. Well, and the way I look at it is it's a business expense.
Yeah.
So grow.
There we go.
Anyway, chickens, gardening stuff, whatever.
Speaking of chickens, my son just chased a fox off.
Oh,
Did
nice.
he get the chicken?
No, got a bunch of feathers, but it wasn't able to get through the fence.
Ooh.
The chicken was close enough to the fence. The fox was able to grab some feathers.
Wow.
So, never mind, I'll
But
say this
that
later.
thing's
Go ahead,
like that thing's like triple fence though. So anyway, at Padre Homestead, Smith-Homestead.com. That's where you can find all my stuff. Homemade soaps, hot sauces. We got some apparel on there now. So that's really
apparel.
Neat. Yeah. Created some t-shirts and I don't print them. I don't have time. I have the equipment but not the time. So it's a drop ship thing, but got a couple pair of boots on there now. Really nice. Tried them out, liked them. So they're on the website now.
Huh.
All leather, calf skin on the inside. There's a vegan option. Any vegans listening, canvas on the outside, cotton on the inside.
Huh. I'm gonna have to check out those boots. Cool. Thanks, dude.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And I'm Matt, FarmHopLife.com. We're still a traveling homestead family. We just travel and homestead. It's separate now. Travel and homestead. Learn how. Don't keep chickens and let your garden go to waste. That's how you do it. All right. We'll be back in like 2 weeks talking about something. I don't know what, but we'll be back.
Good talking to y'all.
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate everybody listening. See you.
Bye.